This is a brand new Big Bertha junk journal. She is a commission project that I just finished. So, you know, she belongs to someone else. I'm going to send her off this afternoon, but wanted to do a video and show you what she looks like and some of the changes that I made between her and my original Big Bertha. I'll put a link to the Big Bertha playlist somewhere in the whichever corner it ends up in, or down in the video description, so that you can see what I'm talking about if you're not familiar with Big Bertha. For this particular one, she's slightly smaller than my original one, simply because the paint sample books that I've used are smaller. The ones in my original one, this was back 3 or 4 years ago, and the paint samples were bigger. So, you know, I made the cover to accommodate the size of the insides. So she's just a little bit smaller, but every bit as fat and happy. Her covers are made out of some upholstery fabric that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. And the customer wanted kind of earthy tones. So I chose this really cool earthy fabric. And this one I like because not only was it the colors that I was looking for, but it frays. And I really wanted that because I love how the edges of mine are frayed, and I wanted this one to be able to fray too. So yay, I found one. And then over that is this super cool cork fabric. It is a fabric, and it is actual natural cork, and it's got gold underneath. Oh, I love this. This is so great. I just sewed the two together. There is actually a piece of vinyl in between just to give it extra stability so it holds its shape and doesn't just, you know, wad up like fabric. And the signatures, there's 7 of them, and they are sewn in with just a simple long stitch. You know, I tied it on the outside and left the little stringies so that she could hang stuff from it. And I gave her one of my hardware pendants to get her started. And that's basically what I did, was kind of get her started so that she could finish. And I'm sending her like a ton of stuff from my stash that she can use in here. She did ask me to finish out a page for her in, you know, my own kind of Big Bertha style. So I did that. I'll show you. Okay. And the signatures are all paint sample books from Lowe's, Home Depot, or Sherwin-Williams. And then I've added other junk mail type stuff with them. Every now and then I may have glued in a little something, you know, if something caught my eye that fit just right. Or if it was a background to get her started, I kind of glued that in so she might have a jumping off point. And this inside front page is the page that I finished out for her. And it's just kind of black and white stuff on a colorful background. I put a little note in here for her. But that's just typical kind of Big Bertha style. And I didn't intend to put anything right here. This was just a pocket out of some paint samples, but I got glue on it and it looked really bad. So I covered it up with a cutout from a magazine. And I've included several of these. These I've had in my stash for years, and they're greeting cards that I've collaged scraps on. And they're super cool, but I never did anything with them. And I thought, why am I still continuing to hold on to these and not use them? So I put several of them in here that she can use, she can add to, she can put pages in them, or, you know, whatever. So hopefully she'll put those to better use than I did. Okay, this one, I believe, yes, there's another picture that I was, you know, flipping through my stash, and it caught my eye and just looked beautiful on this dark background. So I added that. I don't think I put anything else in there. This is going to be the hard part, remembering what I did, because I've been working on this for a while. I gave her one of my Costa fish. And here's another one of the little greeting card books. Some backgrounds. This came out of either a Flow magazine or an Uppercase magazine. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They have very similar graphic style. This was a piece of junk mail I made into a pocket. It already had the little cutout thing, and I glued this, I think it's probably National Geographic, onto this junk mail someone sent me. It's from Virginia Slims. I figured she could finish this out, you know, reverse collage or something in there. And these were some little paint brochures that I sewed together and made into a little booklet. And this is one of the main differences between this one and my original Big Bertha, is I did a lot of sewing in this one just because I can. I didn't sew in the other one because my sewing machine, you know, it's a little bit persnickety, but I've got the nice sewing machine now. So there's some sewing in here in a few places. I really like that. Here's another pocket, lots of pockets and type spots. And this brochure, these were from my eye stickers that I sometimes use, and you know, it's the, when you finish the sheet, it's part of that, and when I stuck it down here, it just made sort of a cool optical illusion. I just love that. So she can finish that one out. And you know, I believe if there's a pocket, there should be something in it, so I tried to put a little something in each pocket. Just a brochure, nice glossy brochure from my stash. And I'm pretty sure this paper was from Flow magazine. And this has a pocket up here, and I put in one of these, you can send off to printing companies for some samples, and it was one of the sample books from uprinting.com. And they're free. The ones that will send you this stuff, they'll send it for free. Slip that back in there. And then this was another pocket that I made, and I put a paint brochure book in there. This little card is a paint sample that I glued some, whoops, collage printout on there. And let's see. Oh, this was an advertisement from Dodge. We drive, you know, our car, our SUV that we have is a Dodge. It's like 17 years old. Oh, bless its heart, y'all. Just pray that thing does not quit running, because if it does, we are so screwed. But so anyway, for like 17 years, Dodge has been sending us advertisements for their new cars. And they usually have, you know, pretty cool advertisements, so I keep them. And this is one of them. I turned the outside into a pocket and then put the innards back in. And this was a book, I think this was probably I got in some Happy Mail, which is super cool. It's got these tabs on it. And it was just, I love the color and the way it has the tabs. And I think it's sort of, because of that, like I didn't want to do anything with it. Which kind of defeats the purpose. But it's got this raised, embossed logo thing on the front. And, you know, it was, to me, it's just like too pretty to do anything with. But I can't have a house full of too pretty to do anything with. I don't have room for it. So I'm going to pass it along, and maybe she will be inspired to do something awesome with that book, or just enjoy the color like I've been doing. There's a fold out here and another pocket here with some more paint sample cards. And on the back, because this book made this floppy cover like extra floppy, and it was just, you know, flopping everywhere, not good. So I put a piece of chipboard on it, and then used it was off of the cover of a uppercase magazine. Stuck that there. And here is another pocket with some stuff in it, just paint samples. And you can see that I left enough space between each signature that she can add signatures if she wants. So this, I mean, it can still grow. It's got room to grow, even as big as it is. This, I think, was my favorite to do. This was one whole paint brochure thing. I put a piece from my stash on the back cover, left the front cover alone, and it's divided up into these color categories, which really appealed to my left brain, you know, because it was like, oh, it's organized. So I had these small brochures in lots of different color families, sort of. So I just matched them up. You know, I put the red one on the red page, and here's a little red tuck. And then here's the pink one on the page with the pinks. And the orange, you see? So I added the orange brochure, found a little orange thing for it. And this was just so fun. This was really appealed to my inner organizer and my inner, you know, let's have things make sense and not be random. I crave that sometimes. It's my nature. Random is not my nature. It's forced. So this was really fun. And that's all I did. I just went through each one. I gave it, you know, a little brochure for whatever color family was happening. Occasional things, pull-outs here and there. And that's that. I didn't have one that was like white, so I just used the pastels. But this one, this just made me happy when I finished it. I was like, that was really satisfying. You know, that was almost like the satisfaction you get after creating a beautiful spreadsheet. Not many people can relate to that. But, you know, there's just something really satisfying about it if you've got some left brain going on, which I do. Okay, this one had several little different pockets. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. So I put a bunch of samples in there. And then it made it kind of floppy, so I just put a piece of heavy cardstock on the back and left it alone for her to play with. This one I kind of sort of finished out for her. Didn't intend to, but things were laying around that went together. There was just a magazine cut out, and then this transparency with quotes on it, and then this scrap of one of my doodles. And this is just on a little pocket half page like that. And I thought that looked really good. The other side has the pocket, another one of my little greeting card books, and some business card samples. Here's another Dodge ad, which is kind of cool because, see, this is like die cut. I think she could probably do something really fun with that. And then the inside has got good paper. So I wish Dodge would send me a car, quit sending me pictures of cars. That's what I really need. This is one of my doodles, a printout of one of my doodles. And over here I made a pocket and then put these were out of a magazine, one of my, I don't even know, some magazine that an artist had made. She altered some playing cards, so these are pictures of them in the magazine that I cut out and put on the back of paint samples. There, and then there's a little pocket right here with some samples, and then this folds out, and here's another fold out over here, and a pocket with some more paint samples in it, and an image from my stash on this one. And I made this pocket, and then there's this catalog for, like, I don't know, bridesmaids dresses or something. This is like the weirdest thing because there were blank, like, see these blank parts? They were like that, only this wide. Like, this was solid white, which made no sense. It was almost like a printing error. Why would they do that? Why would they leave it solid white? I don't know. So I went through on each one that had a big chunk of solid white. I just put these are some of my digital downloads from my Etsy shop. I just kind of found one that kind of went and glued it down. That was solid white, y'all. I seriously think it was, I can't imagine it being a printing mistake. I mean, surely they looked at the thing before they sent it out. I don't know. It made no sense to me. And it's not like you can take notes of the dress that you want, because this is glossy, really glossy. It's really hard to write on. So, made no sense, but I went with it and just put some papers in there for her so she can do what she wants with that. Another greeting card book with some more business cards. And there's some more sewing. This was from my stash, and I sewed in this another sample book. Made a pocket here for these postcards. And this is like my favorite thing to do with paint brochures, is make these little tuck spots and then put the little samples in, see? And it's so easy to do because you just use what's already there. See, you just cut a little slot for your insert, and then you tape along the bottom with some like score tape. And there you have it. That just makes me feel so fancy. It's so easy to do, but I don't know why. I like it. So yeah, I don't know what you do with this after this, but you know, that's not up to me. This is another pocket with yet another Dodge brochure. And this folds out, and there is a pocket here with, oh, I put some magazine images on one side of the paint samples. And then I used the samples here to make these little flaps. And oh, this is another, you know, just cut around the sample and make little tuck spots. I felt extra fancy doing this because see, I just cut around the top of the house, and then it had these little house shaped samples. I just slip in there. Yeah, I don't know, that just made me feel extra fancy after I finished that one. So I really liked it. This is another brochure that I think I got in some Happy Mail. And again, its coolness intimidates me. So I've just been hoarding it and not using it. And you know, I mean, it's awesome. The papers are very cool. Lots that I could do with it. I just can't make myself actually do it. So I'm going to pass it along and maybe she can do something with it. I used a piece of another brochure to make a little band here to put that on. And I used a sample to make a pocket here. And this was a wedding junk mail thing. It had a little booklet inside it, but that book was kind of boring. It didn't have any pretty pictures. So I took it out, replaced it with one of my greeting card books. And these were some of the stuff that came in the booklet. This is for like wedding invitations and stuff. So there's that. And it already had its own pocket, so I used it. And that's from my stash doodle that I did. And one of the gel plate magazine prints that just I thought went perfect there with all the grays and whites. And then I made a little pocket here and gave her a few of my precious, what do you call them? Japanese pen pouches, whatever. And then on the back, I kind of finished this page out too. Gave her some of my scrap paper pieces that I sewed together. And then this little junk journal that I made out of scrap strips and just junk papers. So that is the second Big Bertha that I've made, and hopefully, you know, I've provided a few jumping off points. The great thing about it is it's a glue book. If she doesn't like the things that I've added, she can collage over them, or, you know, heat up the glue, pull them out. You know, I've done that. Whatever she wants. So, you know, hopefully this will be inspiring, and I'm sending her just a gob of stuff to go with it. So there you have it. And when I was making her, this is actually the second cover I did, because the first cover I made, I decided it was too small. It was the right height, but it was not wide enough to accommodate the height of all of the signatures that I just kept adding and adding. So I made a second cover. So I've got this one, and I might actually finish this one out into a little bit smaller Big Bertha and maybe put it in my Etsy shop. Or maybe on eBay. It will be expensive because it's a process, y'all. But I don't know. I may do that because I just love this fabric thing going on. So anyway, there you go. There's another Big Bertha type junk journal for you. And I'm going to get this in the mail to its very excited recipient. She can't wait to get it. I can't wait for her to get it. I hope she likes it. So that's it for today, y'all. The end.